Today, we're diving into a story that's raw, real, and deeply inspiring. It's about a woman named Sarah, whose life was shattered by a devastating betrayal. But through her pain, she found something extraordinary: the power of forgiveness. This is her journey, a story of heartbreak, healing, and hope. If you've ever struggled to let go of hurt, this one's for you. Let's get started. Sarah's life seemed picture perfect. A loving marriage, a thriving career as a graphic designer, and dreams of starting a family. But everything changed one rainy afternoon in October. Sarah came home early from work to find a letter on the kitchen counter. It was from her husband, Mark. In cold, detached words, he confessed he'd been unfaithful for over a year. He was leaving her for someone else. The betrayal hit Sarah like a tidal wave. Her world crumbled. The man she'd built her life with, the one she trusted with her heart, had shattered it. She felt a mix of rage, disbelief, and crushing sadness. Nights were sleepless, filled with questions. Why wasn't I enough? How could he do this? Her confidence plummeted, and self-doubt crept in, whispering that she'd failed somehow. The emotional toll was relentless. Sarah withdrew from friends, stopped designing, and felt like a shadow of herself. She couldn't eat, couldn't focus. The pain was a constant weight, like carrying a boulder on her chest. She tried to make sense of it, replaying every moment of their marriage, searching for clues she'd missed. But the more she searched, the more lost she felt. Forgiveness? That was the last thing on Sarah's mind. The idea of forgiving Mark felt like betraying herself. Why should he get a pass? She thought. He doesn't deserve it. Anger became her shield, protecting her from the vulnerability of her pain. She clung to it, because letting go felt like letting him win. But something shifted one quiet evening, about 6 months after the betrayal. Sarah was cleaning out her closet when she found an old journal from her college days. Flipping through it, she read about a time she'd hurt a friend and been forgiven. The memory hit her hard. She realized holding on to anger wasn't punishing Mark, it was punishing her. It was keeping her stuck, unable to move forward. That moment was the turning point. Sarah didn't suddenly forgive Mark, but she started to see forgiveness differently, not as excusing his actions, but as freeing herself. She began therapy, where she learned to name her emotions: grief, shame, anger. She journaled daily, pouring out her pain. Slowly, she started to let go, not all at once, but in small, deliberate steps. She'd write down one thing she resented about Mark, then burn the paper, visualizing the anger dissolving into ash. It wasn't easy. Some days, the anger roared back, and Sarah would feel like she was starting over. But she kept at it, leaning on meditation, long walks, and talks with a trusted friend. Over time, the resentment began to loosen its grip. She started to see Mark not as a monster, but as a flawed human who'd made a terrible choice. That perspective didn't erase the pain, but it made it less heavy. One day, about a year into her journey, Sarah woke up and realized something incredible. She felt lighter. The boulder on her chest was gone. Forgiveness hadn't erased the past, but it had unlocked a sense of peace she hadn't felt in years. She described it as stepping out of a dark room into sunlight. For the first time, she felt free, not from the memory of the betrayal, but from its power over her. With this newfound peace came empowerment. Sarah threw herself back into her art, creating bold, colorful designs that reflected her healing. She reconnected with friends, laughed more, and even started dating again, not because she needed someone, but because she wanted to share her joy. Her confidence returned, stronger than before, because she'd faced her pain and come out stronger. Forgiveness transformed Sarah's outlook on life. She used to see trust as fragile, easily broken. Now, she saw it as resilient, something she could rebuild within herself. She learned to value her own worth, not based on someone else's actions, but on her ability to rise above them. She began to see challenges as opportunities for growth, not just obstacles. Sarah's journey taught her lessons she carries to this day. She learned that forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about reclaiming your own peace. She discovered that pain, though brutal, can be a teacher, showing you strengths you didn't know you had. Most importantly, she realized that holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Through forgiveness, Sarah found resilience. She rebuilt her life with intention, pursuing her passions and surrounding herself with people who lifted her up. She started a blog to share her story, hoping to inspire others. Her strength wasn't in never being hurt, but in choosing to heal. She became a beacon of hope for others, proof that you can come back from even the deepest wounds. Sarah's story invites us to reflect on our own experiences. Have you ever held on to a grudge, letting it weigh you down? What might happen if you took the first step toward letting go? Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning, it means choosing yourself over the pain. Sarah's journey shows us that healing is possible, and it starts with a single, brave choice. Forgiveness is transformative. It's not about erasing the past, but about rewriting your future. Sarah's story proves that even after the deepest betrayal, you can find peace, strength, and a new beginning. If you're struggling to forgive, here are a few practical steps to start your journey. First, acknowledge your pain. It's okay to feel hurt. Name those emotions without judgment. Second, try journaling or talking to someone you trust to process what happened. Third, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that your worth isn't defined by someone else's actions. And finally, take it one day at a time. Forgiveness is a process, not a race. If Sarah's story resonates with you, I encourage you to take that first step. Maybe it's writing down what's been hurting you, or having an honest conversation with yourself. Whatever it is, know that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a path to healing and freedom. Let's embrace it together. Thank you for joining me for Sarah's story. If it moved you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. Drop a comment below. Have you ever found peace through forgiveness? What was your journey like? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that inspire and uplift. Until next time, keep choosing healing and keep shining.